Hi, it's Jamie with Jamie's Arts a la Carte. Thank you very much for joining me. I have a fun project planned for us today. I hope this video inspires you to create something of your own. If you would, hit the like button and share the video with your friends. That helps me to grow this channel and to continue to bring you new projects. If you haven't subscribed yet, would you please consider subscribing? And if you have, thank you very much. Well, we have a lot to do, so let's get to it. Hi, it's Jamie with Jamie's Arts a la Carte. Thank you so much for joining me today. We've got a fun little project. I am going to make some hair bands, and I want to use my Cricut to cut out some bows. I found some really fun faux leather. So this is several pieces of floral faux leather. Try saying that one fast. And then I have all these here, just some metallics that are really pretty. So how fun. Look at that glitter. Y'all know I love glitter, right? So I've got some fiber fill that I want to try to glue to the edge and then wrap everything in ribbon. I've got a whole bunch of ribbons pulled out, and I just want to see what I can kind of create, right? I'll use my Cricut to cut out the pieces that make those really adorable bows that I created before. But this will be a little bit, it'll be same, but a little bit different, right, than what we created last time. I have a bajillion of these. I should be really good at it by the time I get through. All right, we have a lot to do, y'all. Let's get to it. Right, so I did run into a little bit of a stumbling block. While these came from Cricut, these floral prints did not. I got these from Amazon as well as these glitter sheets. So there's not really a setting with my Cricut for anything other than these, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut what I can on the Cricut, which would be all of these, right? And then I'm going to, I cut out a template already. So here's a template of the bows I'm going to make. And I even created a couple templates out of paper. So, what I have this size and a little bit bigger on that sheet right there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and lay these down on my Cricut mats and go ahead and cut what we can. These feel pretty thick too, so we'll just have to see. They're way thicker than these. This one's fine, but these are really getting up there in thickness. I can cut all kinds, but the problem is that I don't like when it says faux leather, which is what this is supposed to be, faux leather, it says ultra thin on my Cricut, and this is definitely not ultra thin. So I may draw my bows on here and then cut them out by hand, which, I mean, if you don't have a Cricut, this is another way you can do it, right? So I was going to kind of do it both ways anyways, but I'm a little bit handicapped by my materials. So if you have a Cricut and you're buying a material to cut as experiments, just make sure that you're getting material that you'll know what the settings are, right? Because the information sheet for this one that I got, like I spent hours last night looking at this, trying to figure it out. And it really doesn't, normally it'll give you like the equivalent, like if you're using, one of the other manufacturers other than Cricut, it'll tell you, right? And this does tell me faux leather, but it's not the thickness that's being indicated on my machine. So there we go. Beautiful, beautiful prints, and I will be able to use them, but I probably will have to cut them out by hand. That's okay. All right, all that to say, I'm going to load up mats with everything that I think will cut. I don't think these thick ones, and honestly I don't want to practice. What I'll probably do is when I have a little bit like a spare piece, I'm going to practice on that, but not on this whole big sheet. I don't want to practice on this, right? Because it's just cool. Look how pretty that is. Okay, let's get our mats loaded up and we'll get to cutting. So I do have several old mats, right? So store them hanging up. So keep them flat. There's the different layers. Get this last piece off. is another pattern. So then what I'm going to do is for these, I'm going to just piecemeal them over while I'm at the computer so that I can use these pieces up as well. All right, time to go to the Cricut. There's that one. Look how pretty that is. Holographic. Just going to be gentle with it. And if it's too hard, then we're going to bring in our sharp scissors. And maybe we should cut from this side. There we go. Just something like that. There we go. We'll just keep trucking along. I do want to get my mats put away, no dust falls on them. So let's get these unloaded. Right, I've got the ones that didn't quite cut out right on the Cricut. I've got them all cut out. Look at all that, y'all. Some were easier than others. That last one was probably the hardest. So now what I want to do is I'm going to take like the little bit of scrap that I couldn't get with the Cricut, and I'm going to see if I can get any more pieces, and I'm going to just draw it on there and then cut it out by hand. I'm going to see what we can get. So I'm going to do that with all of these, and then I need to draw some hand ones on that so that we can have some glitter in our bows. Look at that. right, so now I am just tracing my pattern onto my material, and I did the bottom row, and then I'm trying to get as close as possible so I can get as many out of this one sheet that I can. So all right, we're almost there. Phew, my fingers are glad. And next we will start assembling our bows. I'm gonna make a few different styles. Clips, headbands, couple different kinds of headbands. Okay. Phew. All right, I'll get this all cleaned up, and then we can start assembling our bows. How about that? Look at all those varieties. Nice little glitter things we have here, and different patterns. Yeah, how about that? Phew, that does hurt though. My fingers will be glad not to cut for a few minutes. Let's see. I'm going to start just laying things out, things that I think will go with these, and then how can I interchange what I call the solids with the prints, right? To get the most mileage out of all of my cutting with my fingers and cutting with the Cricut. So I needed to sort, so now that I've sorted, I am going to literally start pre-building some of our bows. And I'm going to take a few, lay them out. Here's our glitters, right? And then our faux leathers. I've got several that are solid per se, and then all these fun prints. So what I'll do is I'll probably create a couple of each kind and then see where we're at, right? And I'm not going to glue them all together because I want to come over here and find ribbon, match the ribbons for the actual headbands. So lots of moving parts right now, but we've got them all cut and we've got these all sorted. So that was where I needed to get us. So next I'm going to start like with these. This goes with that other package. That's the leftovers or spare parts. See, it'll go like this, right? So what I want to do is what would look good with that? And do I want it to be, you know, one of something like this, right? And then have a smaller one of these on top, right? So it would look something like this. See, I need a smaller dovetail one, right? So that's kind of why you do that. Or do I go a bigger one? And maybe you only do two, right? So there's all kinds of choices, right? That. Then you have this. Could even do that. Right? So that would be fun. Then could you do this? I wonder, should I go ahead and glue all of these like this? Maybe not all, but several of them. So then I can start assembling. That might be a good idea. Maybe I'll start there and I'll go through each package and do a couple of each of the sizes. That might be a great place to start. Way I can lay them out and see their sizes, what color scheme we have going, and all of that. So, a couple big ones, a couple medium, and here's this, these won't get glued in any kind of way. But they're out there. So we might just go ahead and glue all of these. All right, let's get our glue gun set up, and I think that's what we'll start doing. That way we can kind of lay things out and see how they're all going to fit together. I'm going to use Gorilla Glue again in this project, just so that it will last as long as possible. Well, I was just zooming along, creating bows. I mean, like a bajillion bows. Put these out of the way. And I realized that the camera was off. Now here's all my centers. I didn't do that piece yet. So I got to figure out how I'm going to attach these to my bases. But I just created a bajillion, and then I realized, oh my gosh, my camera's not working. So fortunately, I still have some of these paper patterns, right? So that's where we started, remember? And that's where we get to like 3 layers. And I used hot glue to just glue everything together. But with these, I'm just going to use my Art Deco glue. But I want to show you, make sure that I explain how I assemble these, right? There's just the 2, which here in this box is 2 rounded edges. Let's see over here. This is a larger bow. We'll probably put something in the center, but it has that dovetail in the back. So I'm deciding what I'm going to put in the centers. Will I put like a little flower on some of these? I'm thinking maybe. I have to see if I have a way to attach them so I don't have to worry about them coming off and being something small for a little one to put in their mouth. All right, so we have this, we have this, we have this, we have our centers. This is exactly what I did with the faux leather. Put all my pieces same sizes together so I knew what I had. Right? And then basically I decide what I want on the bottom, right? Well, remember what I did first, and I think this somewhere in here is where the camera cut off. I basically am just going to create the little, a perfect twirl when my glue came out. There it goes. All right, so basically I just took the hot glue, put a little bit on each end, and then folded it in like that. A little bit more pliable the leather was, and the hot glue stuck almost immediately. Just going to hold that down in there until it catches. And I make hot glue these just so they'll stick. All right, because I want to move on. Yeah. So this is cardstock versus this was just regular paper. That's why this is not holding with just the glue. So we'll get our hot glue heating up, and then we'll be able to make all our little bows, and then we'll assemble them into the final bow. In the meantime, so what I did is I did count up all my bases that I had. All right, so I have a bajillion here, including different kind of hair clips, even some big gator clips. So we're going to make probably 90-ish of these. How about that? Oh my gosh, what a big project. But basically what we'll do is we will, and I'm not going to use my Gorilla Glue for this. I did for these, right? I used Gorilla Glue on those. But I'm just going to use just regular hot glue for this paper. Put these on cards or something like that. Let's see. Do we got a little bit coming out. And basically just fold it in and hold it until it sets up, right? Hot glue is just seconds. So then I just created all of them, right? I did all the pieces that I had spent all that time cutting out. So again, this would be easier with the leather. You don't have to worry about creasing it and all that, right? It's like material. This is like paper. So you kind of have to tell it where it needs to go, bend, fold, and all that jazz. So here we go. Last one of the paper. And this is just to bring you up to speed since, again, I apologize, my camera did not film all that hard work I did. I got all little spider webs. My mat feels like it has freckles, y'all. Little dots of glue everywhere. So this is what we created, right? Just simple little cutouts, and you can see that there's just a variety of different combinations. We had what, maybe 10, 12 different patterns, and we turned them into pretty much, I don't think there's two that's alike, right? So we have these. We have these, right? The different sizes. So here's our dovetail, and those will probably go on, because those are kind of lightweight, so they'll probably go on the headband one that gives it a little bit of support. That's what I'm thinking. But look at the different varieties. Very rare did I put two of the same print together. Just kind of what I ended up with. Did I do that? Right? Different prints. This little wild jungle print. And then these. So different sizes, different styles, 2-layer, 3-layer. All the same kind of technique, so you can do just your imagination is your limit on this one. So, all right, phew. Now to the next part. Now I have to sort of figure out a way to do these headbands. And what I want to do is I want to get a little bit of fiber fill. I want to loosen it up, and then I'm going to hot glue it to the band, and then I'm going to cover that in ribbon, and then I'm going to put the bow on top. I might put some on the top, I might put some on the side. With these, I'm just literally, I think I'm going to sew the bow to the headband, a little bit of hot glue, but then wrap the band around everything, right? Just to make sure it's super secure. That's what I'm thinking on those. And the same with these, and these, right? So some of these are like adult size too, so I think that's pretty cool. Look at that. So, and then this is super cute. Haven't decided which one I'll put on here, but, and then I have one ponytail someone's made, right? Got a feeling that's Miss Ruth. But I'm even going to put a bow on this, I think. I want to see what it looks like. I think that's going to be super cute. And then with all the clips, I think I'm going to put a layer of ribbon. Especially, some of these have like little claws. So I'm going to cover this in ribbon, maybe, we'll see. And then glue the bow on there. Now I did get out different ribbon. This is my washi tape / ribbon, right? So I've got lots to choose from in here. I like all these little glitters, right? So lots and lots to choose from, right? Ooh, pinstriping. All right, so that's kind of the plan, but I want to start here, start with what I think is going to be the hardest one first, and then move on from there. So I want to coordinate my ribbons to my bows, make sure that they complement each other, and just come out with the best end product that I can. But I'm going to start with, more hot glue, y'all, but we're going to hot glue. I want to cover up these little teeth. I know they're there for a reason, but I don't think my granddaughters will like them. So I'm going to cover them up. I'll make it a little softer on their little heads. So that's where we'll start. I'm going to get cleaned up. Ooh, I got all this glue back here, y'all. Oh, I can feel it everywhere. I can't just put water on there. So we'll get everything cleaned up. I'll get my paper bows put in a safe spot so that we can use them on a future project. And then we will start covering these headbands. Start with the hardest one first. At least I think it is. So, all right, let me get everything cleaned up. Get all my little warts back here cleaned up so that I have a smooth surface to work on. All right, it took me a hot minute to figure out the best way to do this. So I did away with the polyfiber, and I'm just taking about that. What is that? Maybe, let's take it off here. Maybe like a quarter of an inch wide, half an inch wide. So, oh, here it is, 3/8 of an inch wide. Take it all the way off because it tends to wind up on itself, like get into knots if you don't. So cut that off. And I'm still using Gorilla Glue. I put a bead on the inside and the outside. Lay it inside. And outside. Hold it for a minute, and then I'm going to flip it, and I'm going to twist it while that glue is still a little damp. And I'm going to create a closed end. Alright. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wind all the way around. I only do maybe an inch of glue at a time because it dries pretty quick. Alright, now when I get to the end, I I am going to make sure I have glue that will help me to seal off this end. So I'm going to wind it around, go just a smidge past the end of the base, but where I can glue the two edges together. Just hold it until it sets. Comes off pretty clean. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come around and I'm just going to to fold it in so that it doesn't ravel. And then I'm just going to turn it in just a tiny little bit. And I want to glue this down. Just there on the back. Hold it till it sets. And there we have it. And then I have about that much left off of a full spool. So then what I want to do is I decided I want to sort of make like a contrast. So I want to look at my bows, and actually I want to look at the big ones. So I have the pink one, a black one, a purple one, this one with little dinosaurs on it. And what I want to do is I'm going to contrast, if I can. Like I don't have any more of this purple, but I do have a pink. I've got a thin pink over here. So what I'll do is I'll go find my thin fabric ribbon where I can do a contrast on these, right? So I want to use these. We've got 12 of these. So we'll pick out 12 of our larger bows. And I probably will add something to that one. So that has that flappy on the back. So I want it to set on that. The glitter, see the glitter is much more firm. So that's good. So probably will save that one and that one and that one. Let's see what I can do is I can literally like glue it on the edge. Gives it a base to set on. That's why I'm going to pick those, I think. So now we're down to 2. Let's see what we got. Right, we got all of our headbands covered, and I've done a couple practice with some of these. So that would be this one, this one, and then the majority of them are like this. So off to the side, and put that centerpiece around the whole thing. But what I'm doing to just help secure it a little bit more, I'm actually using ribbon to attach this to the actual headband. So it only takes about 2 inches. And I'm taking the bow, I'm gluing it to the headband. Again, we're using Gorilla Glue. And I'm going to place this here. And we're going to hold it in place until it has a chance to set up. Just giving it a little bit of pressure. And then we have something that looks like that to begin with. And then I'm putting a little bit of glue across the top. And we're just gluing this ribbon on, and I'm using my little stylus here, save my fingers. And we're going to go ahead and push this down. It's cooled off enough where I can touch it now. Pressure. A little bit of extra. Just comes right off. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of that little bit extra. I'm going to give this ribbon just a little bit of hot glue, not the whole length. Just want to be able to pull pretty tight. So I'm trying to make sure this stays on this. And just wind it around. And in the extra, just pull it off. And it looks something like that. Then we'll find one of these. Get both widths here. And we will again remove any extra, and then just glue in this little centerpiece here. I'm going to put the center over it, and then I'm going to pull this down so that I can push it. And what I'm trying to do is squeeze out any little air gaps so that I can have a chance, the best chance, to get this to meet in the back, just like that. So then I take one side, let it set for just a second so it doesn't burn me. Use my tools. Fold it up and over. Hold it down till it catches, right, till the glue sets up. Okay. Then the same thing on this side. I am trying to get to those little corners so that everything sticks. I want these to line up. So Something like that, and now I'm just going to press it till it sets up. And we have something like that. Okay. All right. There we go. I think I'm going to make this into a two-part series because we have spent quite a bit of time creating these headbands this style. And so I don't really want to chop up the video where you don't get to see how that happened. So what I'll do is I will clean up my table here so that I can bring you in to show you some close-ups of what we have made so far. And then next week I'll bring you the other style headbands that we're going to make. Look at those. Are those too cute or what? Some bits and some baubles. I think they turned out quite lovely. And they're on there pretty good. Right? So I've got a little bit of security on this piece and then a good amount around the center. How about that? Lots of hot glue to clean up, y'all. All right. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, like it, share it with your friends. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, would you please consider subscribing? And well, until next week when we do part 2, happy crafting. I'll bring you in. I'll do some close-ups. These are just stinking cute, y'all. I can't wait to give these away. Okay, until next time.